Yeah, and I think that you end up sort of destroying the spirit of men who come out, because what usually happens when a man gets out of prison and they need a place to live? They go live with a woman.
Yeah.
Right? Now, a lot of times this is a woman who's unattractive.
Right.
Not to say every time, but a lot of times when you need a woman and you need a place to stay, you're not going to get the working professional, no kids, I got it together woman. Most times you're going to get a
not true. You know, in prison, you accept what you get. You get pen pals. She might be 300 pounds.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of times, so you come out and you basically settle for whatever you could get for a roof over your head.
Right.
A 300-pound woman, a woman with a bunch of kids, a woman who has low self-esteem and so forth. And you demean the man by having to be in, and at the end, and now the woman's the head of the household.
But that's
her fault. She pays the bills.
It's her fault.
Well, I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. I'm talking about just the situation as it is. You're now living in a house where you're supposed to be the man of the house, but the house isn't in your name.
Right.
You're either doing something illegal or you have a low-paying job. So the woman is paying most of the bills. You're no longer the man. You're almost taking the subservient role, because
when you lose,
you get into one fight. Get the fuck out of my house. Right. Get the fuck out of my house. I could call the police and have you leave because the lease is in my name. We don't have a joint lease. Right. You're not on this shit. I am. Right. You're just staying here because I'm allowing you to do that. And that sets up such an inequality that a man's going to have to just take it. And what does that do to a man's spirit year after year?
It breaks you down.
Yeah.
It breaks you down. Your choices is just like really limited.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I do the man shit and she get mad, I got to keep her happy to be where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think it's all bad because we got to go through the shit. And then we got to go back, hit the streets to my daughter's mother, for instance. I'm living with her. We partying every week. We having these parties at my house. She don't want me to pay shit. She paying the rent, paying the bills. But I'm there. Here, I got the rent. I got the money for what you want from the party. No, keep that. Once you get used to it, then don't ask me to pay no light or gas bill. At the end of the day, if you lose your job, don't come at me. You've been doing the shit. Figure a way out. Now you already know you got to get ready to move and do all this other shit. Some women want that shit just to have a man in their fucking house. You know, opposed to say 50-50, whatever the case might be. Some women bringing men in their motherfucking house and got 4 kids, don't know jack shit about this man. It's just the way we have learned to live.
Yeah.
We're accustomed to this shit.
It's not a good way to live.
No, but we don't have choices. We really don't have the choices. We got to go from here and try to figure out shit. Yeah. We got to maneuver through the hood. And me personally, gangbanging, dealing with this woman, running from the police, and all that other shit, it's you really on a I don't give a fuck basis. You know what I'm saying? And the average cat ain't finna get it. You just get more reckless as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we wind up in prison. Now, you're doing all this time in prison and then come home. We still got homeboys in prison. We was talking about it on the way here. Been in there 33 years.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Just imagine if they let him out today. He have no motherfucking clue of what he see here. Or how to do it. So what's gonna happen? He go right back to prison.
Right. Prison rules don't apply here. You can't punch someone in the face because they cut in line.
Well,
you'll go right back to prison again.
And people know that. You know what I'm saying? But you're no good in a sense to nobody unless you come home already with a foundation. Somebody that's gonna help you. If you ain't got that, if you ain't got a support system, you pretty much
right. But then you come home, and they say that you can't be around anyone who's gang related, and that's your whole family, your whole neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you run into this situation because the guy who got shot along with Nipsey Hussle, that was his situation. They try to violate him. Big U. We did an interview with him and Kerry. I forgot his last name, but Kerry and Big U got on the phone with me. Right. I recorded it and put it out, where he just talked about like they were trying to send him back in jail, back in prison, for getting shot because they were saying he was affiliating himself with gang members.
It was more shit to that. I truly believe this is my theory. They locked his ass up because he wouldn't say what he saw or what happened, and that's how they use each other. Play the cards against each other and shit like that. Yeah, they just played the game, man. And
eventually he ended up not having to do any more prison time.
Right.
He got out. I mean, we put a lot of attention on this. We actually set up we didn't set up, but we pointed to a GoFundMe page where he was like, I don't know how much was it, 20 or 30,000 got raised, which he got to keep for himself. And, ultimately all the attention, all the negative attention that we brought to this messed up situation.
He got to keep the money?
Yeah.
I need somebody to go fund me.
Well, he got shot and he was in a wheelchair.
Right.
Like he was really fucked
up. So that really helped.
Yeah, he was. They handcuffed him to like a fucking in a cell, and he couldn't even get medicine or whatever else. Like he was really fucked up after doing like I don't know. He just got out for doing a murder. He was in prison for like 30 years. He was just in a fucked up situation, and he was just there to get like a free sweatshirt or something from Nipsey. Like he wasn't like he didn't even know him like that. Like he just thought, they passed by, they saw Nipsey hanging out. They didn't know that a shooting was about to kick off. Apparently the trial was supposed to happen pretty soon for Shitty Cuz, but I guess that's put on hold right now.
You know what? I don't even follow that. I say it was a fucked up thing that happened. I'd say, we all lived the same shit that went through right there. Homies against homies, all that other shit. Speaking on that shit, I mean, whatever happened to that guy is going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
So, but that's some everyday shit.
How are the prisons these days? Because I guess they're letting certain people out early.
Yeah.
They're not arresting certain people. I guess they're not really allowing lawyers
to even
speak with their clients.
Yeah, that's 6 feet shit. Some of them talk through the glass anyway. I ain't been to jail. I've been out of prison since 88. I ain't been to jail since 92, the riots. And fighting the case that I had in 92, 8 months, came home. I ain't seen a jailhouse since. So I don't know how the hell they running that shit, but that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, Tekashi tried to get early release because of coronavirus. I guess he has asthma, and they tried to petition, and we actually broke the story that they rejected that.
But why he want that? He only got 2 goddamn years.
Man, he wanted 0 years. What are you talking about? He wasn't built for that shit.
He don't have a choice. He put himself in a position. Then he handled his business in a certain kind of way. They got him 2 years. And that's why I say the courts is fucked up. How do you do the same fucking crimes that I do and you only get 2 years? Because you ran your fucking mouth. Regardless if you talk or not, you was right here when I, just say for instance, killed this motherfucker. How do I get 30 years and you get 2 years? Just because you said, I'll tell y'all how we did it?
Yeah.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you, did you see that series on Netflix, The Tiger King?
No.
You didn't watch that?
No.
Very interesting story if you have some free time.
Yeah.
Which a lot of us have right now. You should watch it. It was a very interesting story, but essentially the way it ended was that he got sentenced to 22 years because this one guy that worked for him claimed that he paid him $3,000 to go kill this lady who was like a big competitor to him that was trying to shut him down. $3,000 to do a murder across country. And like the whole thing was fairly ridiculous sounding when you really say it out loud.
Right.
But this guy, basically, they was tapping his phone and he agreed to testify against him. So yeah, he paid me $3,000 to do it. But he didn't do it. He just took the money and went partied with it. And he got 22 years. Whereas in the Tekashi situation, he paid you see him on camera telling, yeah, I give you like $10,000 to go shoot at Chief Keef. This guy went there, shot at them or shot in the air or something. The guy who did the shooting got, I think, 5 years. And Tekashi walked away with 2 years with time served. How do you get 2 years for putting a hit on someone where a shooting occurred, whereas another guy got 22 years to put a hit on someone where nothing happened?
Exactly.
Like
the system is set up to basically, if I really want you that bad, we're gonna find a way to get you. I'll give you lesser time if you help me get them.
Yep.
That's all it is. And 9 times out of 10, that person bites into it and it happened. Which they should cut that shit out. If I'm your crimey, I should get the same time. You know what I'm saying? It don't happen that way. Let me turn against this motherfucker. I want to walk. I don't want to. Some motherfuckers ain't built for jail.
Yeah.
So not knowing what it's like and what they coming up against, a lot of motherfuckers flip, and I'm not going in there. And they don't go.
Oh, yeah. No, I interviewed this guy, Kevin Childs. He was one of the big Harlem drug kingpins.
Uh-huh.
And he said how 22 people, I think, got arrested with him. And nobody said nothing. One guy went on the run and didn't get caught for like 6 months. And they said as soon as they put the handcuffs on that one guy, he cooperated on everything.
Everybody.
On everybody.
That's all it
and
takes.
He and this guy ended up doing, I think, 18 years or something like that. Everyone gets arrested except for Charles Allen Brown.
Right.
Who goes on the run.
Right.
And that lasts for a good 6 months.
Right.
And then he gets caught.
Right.
And what happens as soon as they put the handcuffs on?
He gets to talking to the traffic agents. Damn near. You know, that's what they was equivalent to. Just local officers in Raleigh, North Carolina, not the feds, just the people who he had a warrant. They caught him, and I'm not making this up for the sake of trying to humiliate the person. This is a fact. In my discovery, it states that as soon as he got caught, local law enforcement, he was talking with them.
Because one guy talked. He said, had this one guy not talked, he probably could have walked away or just gotten a very low sentence. And you know, I think China Mac, one of our regular guests, said the same thing about Tekashi. They said, had there been no Tekashi in that trial, someone that was willing to tell everything about everybody, all these guys, because like the breakdown is crazy. Shotty 15 years, this other guy 20 years, this guy 8 years, 13. Like he said that most of those guys, they probably would have gotten caught for something, but you could probably, you know, shave off 75% of everyone's time. And this guy may have, you know, Tekashi would have gotten, instead of 2, he might have done 4.
Well, you got to look at it. If you're living reckless, then you got to be ready to deal with anything.
Yeah.
The consequences of how you living. To bring that young dude in there, knowing he ain't from the hood, knowing he don't have no history, but you bringing him in there because of the money. We greedy. The money got me doing this and got me doing that. We accept you. Only because of the money. But at the end of the day, and this happens with every rapper that ever had money that came in the hood and it gets bad. Death Row, the whole 9. Everybody's going to wind up somewhere. Back in the hood, in prison, or dead. That's all you get out of this shit. And with this Tekashi, same situation is the Death Row shit.
Yeah.
Suge Knight doing 28 years. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that worked for Death Row is back in the hood or dead or doing time in prison.